Up? Welcome back to another game review. Eagles versus Patriots, Week 2 preseason game. Not a good display, I guess. It's had its up and down moments. As far as the offense goes, there was moments where the offense was on. We had Tom Brady out there for the first half. Looked great, as expected. James White looked great as expected. But there was other times where, the quarterbacks, including Brady and Hoyer, they wouldn't connect with the receivers. Sometimes it was due to the quarterback's fault. They either overthrew or they just didn't hit them in the right spot. But then there was other times where the receiver was at fault and they just didn't catch the ball. That was one of those things that they were talking about during practice, where they was talking about how the receivers were just dropping the ball and they weren't catching it. You had Eric Decker come out there for that one on that one play. He had the chance to extend the drive and he just let it bounce out of his hands, showing a bit of what the Titans saw, which is why he was floating on free agency so long. So, I know they need depth at wide receiver, with people just going down, all these injuries occurring, but they're going to have to find somebody who they can, put their trust in to make these catches. And right now, you only have so many people who's going to be able to do that. The deep ball, not really working like it did last year. I know you ain't really got this. You got speedsters. Philip Dorsett, he's a speedster. Cordell Patterson, he's a speedster. But they're just not able to create that separation like that. And if you're looking for the deep ball with Patterson, then you're going to have to keep looking, because right now we're not seeing it. If you're looking for dink and dunk plays and screen plays, then Patterson's your guy. That's somebody you can put your trust in, especially with that one play where I thought he made it all the way to the goal line, but it turns out he stepped out of bounds. I thought his feet were a little bit in, but you could see it. But anytime he was out there, and anytime he had the ball in his hands, he pretty much lit up the screen. So definitely keep your eyes out for him come the regular season, because he's definitely going to be in the circle of receivers that Brady's going to have to put his trust in. Big highlight, the defense. Not necessarily the secondary. I know the secondary did its thing, at least the first stringers and kind of the second stringers, but, they kind of slacked up. Third string was just, for the most part, they didn't let them come back at least. Let's just say that. But as far as like the second string, the third string go, they didn't really do too good of a job. You got what first string did their job. You got what you got from Stephon Gilmore. He did his thing. Eric Rowe did his thing. Croson. Forgive me if I'm not saying his name right. I heard a lot of negative comments during the game from the announcers on him, but only problem I see with him is he's just too grabby. When he's grabbing at defenders, he's smacking at the ball too early. He just has to calm down and play his role, and he'll be all right. He has the speed. He definitely has the speed to keep up with the receivers, and it wasn't like he was just lost out there. So he just has to work. He just has to work on that. He almost had a near interception, but he dropped the ball at the goal line. So all he has to work on is the whole grabby issue, and I think he'll be straight. As far as being a slot corner goes, but he's definitely not going to get that starting spot. You still got people like Duke Dawson, and then you got Jonathan Jones that he's behind. So he's definitely not going to get that spot, but I think they're going to keep him with them for a while just to work on him. But back to the defense. Linebackers. Shawan Bentley came in, did his thing. Like I said, not going to put too much trust in these players because it is preseason. But Juwan Bentley is making his case. He is making his case to pair up with Dante Hightower. The defensive line, though. The defensive line. Phenomenal. I mean, that was the highlight. Out of all the pieces, offense, special team, defense, out of all the pieces, D-line did his thing. D-line did his thing. Adrian Claiborne had a nice strip sack. You know, Bentley came and scooped it up, ran it back to the house. Man, Derek Rivers got in there, got him the sack. You know, there was just plays after plays after plays on the D-line. D-line is definitely stronger than it was last year, and they're definitely creating pressure a lot more than they were last year. That's another thing that we're gonna have to look out come the regular season. We're not gonna see that same just so much time in the pocket that quarterbacks had last year. You know, there's definitely going to be some pressure from that defensive line, from that edge rush. Big change, big positive change. Loving it. Have nothing negative to say about it. Things that we want to watch out for are players who didn't really get a chance to play this game. So, you know, Rex Burkhead, I mean, we know what Rex Burkhead is going to do, but he didn't really get a chance to come in. You know, he's dealing with the injury, so is Sony Michel. Isaiah Wynn also, you know, he spent some time at right tackle, but he did go down a little earlier in the game. Not really sure on his time table, what time he's going to be back, because, you know, he did go into 10, then he ended up getting on the card and all that mess. So, not really sure what his future as of this season is looking like, but hopefully he's able to come back at least for the regular season, because we're definitely going to need some help on that right tackle position. I know we have Adrian Waddle, but still going to need some help on that right tackle position. As far as special teams go, you know, because there was like a lot of talk during the game about the special teams. You know, they're obviously gonna have to work on kickoffs. You know, because they allowed them to gain way too much yard on kickoff. That's the thing that they're gonna work on, especially if you letting backups do this to you. Yeah, so that's the only thing I have to say about special teams. Other than that, they pretty much did a really good job. Pretty much kind of like the opposite from last week, where they started off pretty much cold in the beginning of the game. They started off really hot at the beginning of this game. Defensive line definitely came in to play. I mean, the defense overall had 8 sacks, so that's definitely something to look at. I'm predicting a top 5 defense for this team this year coming in. I mean, even though the secondary is going to do its job, but the D-line, which was one of those worries that we had last year, is not going to be too much that we're going to have to think about this year, especially with the pieces coming in and people that we didn't have last year, like Derek Rivers, who is coming in and doing his thing. And it just seems like a new improvement all around. I don't want to put too much credit on Flores, but I don't want to take any credit away from him. You know, I don't have anything against Matt Patricia. But according to other people, Flores is taking the defense in a new direction. He's being more aggressive. So maybe that's why we're seeing more of these sacks and more of this pressure. But as far as the game goes, it was a good showing. You know, not too many negative points, not too much to worry about. Definite improvement on D-line. Receivers, still got to see how that shakes out, because there's still people dropping the ball, and they're going to have to have somebody who's going to have to step up with Julian Edelman out for the first 4 weeks. So that's another thing to look at. But overall, pretty good. Pretty good. And then we have to take into consideration that a lot of the tight ends didn't get too much work. You know, Hollister had, you know, his moments in the game where he made some good grabs. So that's another guy to look out for. But as far as the team's overall performance of the night, I give it a B. B plus. You know, they did their job. And I'm trying to think of something else to say as far as what they can do, but I mean, they pretty much did what they had to do. They won the game, and they kept the team from putting up too many points. The starters, not the third strings, the starters did the job. So overall, I liked it. I like their showing. So, like I said from the other video, I'm going to do other games, not just Patriots games, but I still got to get that set up with the boys. We're also going to do other things other than football. So that's another thing to keep an eye out on. But as for now, just going to sign off. I'll catch you back later for the next week. Go Pats.